On this episode of Gun Talk Hunt, we talk with firefighter Jacob Stolzle about his experience hunting out of state, all right here.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
All right, welcome in Gun Talk Hunters. I'm your host, KJ. And man, got a good episode for you coming up right now. I've got a firefighter here who's just all about hunting. Good buddy of mine, Jacob Stolzle.
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 Yep. First L silent.
Is the first one silent?
Yep. Stolzle. Yep.
He's a really good buddy of mine. We've been, oh my gosh, like going on 5.5 years, 6 years almost.
5 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. April, 5 years.
Yeah. We marked that because I guess we're competitors in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So we battle each other nearly every day. So that's not bad.
No.
It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to get to know somebody. That's for dang sure.
Yep.
But this episode is brought to you by Ruger, Leupold, and Range Ready. Find your next class at rangereadystudios.com. I thought kind of what I'd have you on here because you haven't been on a show before, and it's always interesting when I bring friends on because then they get to tell stories about either hunting with me or what's it like hunting with me. But I want to kind of get for you because you hunt. We're down here in Louisiana. You hunt Mississippi. You're hunting Oklahoma now, and just talk about kind of the transition and how those two differ. That's kind of what I want to talk about is like hunting because hunting out of state is way different.
Yep.
So what in your mind, like how, I guess you're a complete out of state hunter because you don't hunt whitetail in the state of Louisiana.
No, not much. We do have some property in North Covington, but that's just it's mostly Mississippi.
Well, it's because it's all swamp deer, dude.
A lot of swamp deer, yeah, which is, they're smaller whitetail than what, of course, you're used to in Oklahoma. But, yeah.
Well, even up in Mississippi, like some of the deer that you've shown me are good. They're at least good-sized body deer, but like the stuff that they have in this, like the swamp deer in Louisiana, they're tiny.
Tiny, yeah. Like I would say, a mature buck, 4 or 5 year old, 150, 170 pound deer. That's. I mean, I haven't killed one. But,
I still think you're being generous. I'd say they're about the size of a good sized German Shepherd.
Possibly, yes.
But no, how does it differ with you in being a out of state hunter, like basically a traveling hunter, because you have a camp. Mm-hmm. They call them camps. They're not leases, right?
Well, we have a camp, I guess, a place on a lease. So we lease 1,000 acres, roughly, timber company, and I've been in the camp for, I don't know, I think this is my 8th year, but they put just a portable building, built it out. We got some bunk rooms, we got some bathrooms, we got running water, electricity, cable, all that.
That's all
so
you need. You got cable. I mean, that's all you need.
It's
right?
nice, right? I brought the wife one time. She's not coming back, but it's nice for us. You
got to tell me that. Well, why did she not come back?
The rodents, the mice that are in the camp, and that's a ongoing battle every year. You deal with that, right? They get in my side by side every year.
Yeah, you're just doing repairs on it, man.
Yeah, they just eat it up.
They had so I had in Oklahoma. I used to have a trailer out there. It was like a 32-foot like pull behind. It was huge. It was rat infested.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that would sleep in there because I don't care. Like if something runs across my foot, like then I might have a problem.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they've crawled over my face once or twice sleeping,
See, so, I'd have to draw the line there.
But man. No, we go to battle with them every year, and cats is the way to go though.
Did you get some cats?
We had one year, and that was probably the only year we didn't lose the battle to the mice. But
And you just need to get like a bunch of like barn cats. Just go down to the local shelter and haul some out there.
Yeah. But,
I mean, my gosh, that would be the easiest way.
Keeping them off season is going to be the trick, you know.
Well, is there someone who, because that would be the easiest thing if someone was able to go by, make sure they had food, water.
Yep. Yeah.
And just let them go to town.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did. Okay. You need to get on that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. But as far as like out of state hunting, so that camp's probably what, 3-4 hours away or
3 hours.
Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. 3 hour drive.
Well, a few years ago, I've been begging you to go to Oklahoma, and finally you were like, okay, fine, I'll go. I'll try it out. And you got to tell a story on how your deer hunt went, because that was entertaining. It was, and this isn't exactly the most PC podcast, but you can use your words freely in this. I should have told you that before we started.
Well, I mean, I guess when going up to Oklahoma was a lot different whitetail hunting than what I'm used to, right?
Well, because you're big timber.
So timber, hardwoods only, it's, finding the trail and sitting in a tree and waiting. So yeah, when I went to Oklahoma with you, it was a lot different. So
you wasn't prepared for flatland.
Yeah.
like
so
open.
The first hunt was it was that morning. I got there late that night.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning you dropped me off, and on the map you said go here, so
yeah, I shared a waypoint.
Yeah, it was all good, but I had never.
And you were going in the dark.
Yeah, so I was like, all right. So it was all good. It was about a 500-yard walk in.
Yeah,
whatever.
It wasn't bad. I was trying to be easy on you.
Found a shrub and stood by for the sunrise. But no, yeah, a lot different. Open. I was like, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna kill a deer here.
They could see too well.
And but yeah, of course you put me on deer. That morning, saw some does, saw some coyotes that morning too.
I still can't believe you didn't shoot them.
I think that's the closest I've ever been to a coyote. I want to say 20 yards.
Really?
In front of me.
Dude, they get close.
And then that morning, a young buck bedded down right next to me that morning too. So
I forgot about that.
It was that was fun, man. And of course, I think I did see a good deer that morning too. You might have saw him that morning too, but of course I was trying to, not shoot
the first thing that walked out.
Yeah, and I think it was a decent deer, but I'm glad I held off.
It probably was.
But and then that evening we were hunting together that evening.
Yeah, that's right.
And we were just hiking it in, and you're being all stealth, and I'm, and then you basically stepped on a pig, on a pretty nice size.
It was a big boar.
Yeah.
It was a big white and chocolate or dark spotted hog.
Yeah.
And that's what can happen out there is when something happens. I don't know if it's this area or it's just, I've had this happen in a lot of hunting situations, but something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the woods, you're quiet and you're just stealthy and you're using the wind to your advantage, something's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was exactly what happened with that hog. Cause I mean, he was not 5 yards away when he busted out. And of course that incited me to start yelling, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. And then the shots rang.
And then a couple of shots, and he was
gone,
not killed. But yeah, next time you'll do the shooting on that one.
No, when it's that close, just aim for hair.
Yeah, I was. It caught me off guard because I'm laughing, I'm scared, I don't know what's happening. You're just yelling at me to shoot, and
which does happen a lot with people who hunt with me.
Yeah. So,
but you don't expect the hog to be there, one.
Right.
Two, I mean, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, why would he go deer hunting and try to kill a hog? Well, hogs destroy crops and they are just a nuisance. They run deer off. So anytime, I swear to you, anytime there's a coyote near or a hog, it turns into a coyote or a hog hunt.
Yep.
Because the deer are going to come. And you were shooting a 300 Win Mag, if I was correct, right?
Yep. Had 300.
And then I had a 6.5 Creedmoor. Don't judge me. Please don't judge me. But so we got to our spot, and we really didn't see anything that night.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I don't think maybe one or two.
Yeah, we saw some in a distance, but I don't think we saw any shooters.
And that was an instance of me. I should have set up somewhere different. I really should have. I didn't want to bump anything too soon because we had just hunted that area, or a buddy of mine had just hunted that area who's on the lease with us, a couple days ago, and I just wanted to calm down.
Yeah.
Ended up, not really mattering. So didn't see anything that night. And we were just staying in a hotel, so it's not like we don't have a camp. A lot of times I'm either Airbnb-ing it if we can get something close, or I'll just camp out.
Right.
And we ended up camping out, I think 2 years ago. I forget.
Yeah, you camped out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I left that day, but you camped out the rest of the week. So
That's
we
right.
set up camp.
Because it got cold, like down to the 20s. And my poor boys, their toes were about to fall off.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there, because one of them forgot to put their socks on in the morning, which I don't understand how you could do. But he ended up shooting his first deer that morning, though.
Yeah, they both had good bucks that year, I think.
They both did. So the next morning comes, and we decide, so this stand has been hunted mercilessly, Leslie. How would you say that?
A lot.
There you go. That's an even better way to put it. It's been hunted a lot. And I want to say there had been like already 3 deer killed from that stand. So you and I just go hunt. My boys are sleeping in. And so you and I are sitting there, and I'm going to let you take it from there. Because this is like one of my favorite stories to tell. And I tell it everywhere I go. I'm sorry, you might be famous for this story.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me look like a good hunter, but
but you're a good hunter. So we get into the stand early.
Right.
Like early.
Yeah.
And there's a feeder on this. And so the reason why I decided to hunt the feeder is, one, to see what inventory is still coming into that area. Because anyway, it's a good story and a big lesson to be learned at the end of this. There's a lot of lessons. But let's leave them on a cliffhanger. We're going to hear a word from these sponsors, and we're going to get into the story of Jacob's first Oklahoma buck. This episode is brought to you by Ruger. Man, they're doing good stuff. Ruger.com, and they've got an SFAR 310 AR-10 platform, super lightweight. Now it's 7.62 NATO 308 caliber, 10 and 20 round magazines come with this. Magpul MOASL stock, so you're going to like that. It is threaded for a suppressor, so make sure you go over and get a lightweight suppressor, and I think you're going to like the way it feels, and it cuts down on that recoil. But why would you want a gun like this? Well, where I hunt, there's a lot of hogs in the area, and when I'm deer hunting with a 308, man, I sure would like to have a lot more buddies around to help me take care of that problem, but instead I'll just add that 20 round magazine and go to work. So find out more about the SFAR at Ruger.com. And Leupold, man, Leupold's doing some good stuff. I have a pair of their range finding binoculars, which I'm in love with, but what I got started out with was their BX4 Pro Guide HD 10x42s. Got a great coating on them, a rubberized feel to them. All the adjustments are positive, which positive for me means, and this is something that you've got to look for in a good binocular, is the rigidness and the stiffness of the adjustments. So your focal adjustments need to be positive, because there is nothing more frustrating than getting your adjustment, putting them on your chest or in your pack, bringing them back up, and they are blurry and you have to readjust. You want something where you can set it, relax, go back to them, and they're on point, dialed in, and focused nicely. So check them out at Leupold.com. And Range Ready Studios, hey, we've got a lot of classes on tap for RangeReadyStudios.com. we've got Chris Serino doing a lot of training. There's FPD experiences, there's AR courses, semi-auto courses. Who knows? You know what? Maybe one day they might even let me maybe teach a intro to hunting course. That would be really cool. And you can find all that information at rangereadystudios.com. All right, we're back, Gun Talk Hunters. Talking with Jacob Stolzle, firefighter buddy of mine, jiu-jitsu athlete, CrossFit guru, CrossFit coach, just adamant about health. So we go to a blind first thing in the morning, and we get there probably about an hour before really sun up, because I like to get in really early, let everything die down, make all my noise, and then just sit quiet. And then you take it away.
Yeah. So, we were there early. And my usual coffee, no matter what, got to have the coffee.
I know you do.
So sun came up, and seeing some deer coming in, and not too long after, I had to
relieve yourself.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to jump in here, because I strategically, and you can do this at home, it's okay to, go to the restroom. And I used to be the guy who's like, no, you can't go to the restroom while you're hunting because it scares away. That's all BS. Just hunt the wind. Yep. So I position the blind perfectly for this feeder, because my boys do the same thing. They have to go to the bathroom. So walk, like I should have instructed you, walk straight out, and the feeder, like nothing will see you.
Nothing sees you.
Nothing sees you.
Yep.
All right.
All right. You didn't
I had to make that disclaimer.
Well, so you didn't tell me that, but it's all right.
I did. That was my bad.
So
bad guide.
Step out and go to the right of it, behind it, and midstream, you're yelling, whispering, yelling at me.
Like, what are you doing?
And I look back, and you go.
I'm just holding up hands with, there's a buck right there staring at us, and he's like, no way.
I said, and I had shut up. You're joking.
I had snuck out though, because I was like, well, maybe I have to go. But then, like, I peeked my head around the corner, just barely. Like, I peeked around, and I'm going, oh my gosh, there's this buck, probably 75 yards away, staring right at Jacob.
At me, yeah.
Taking a leak. Like, that's what he's. That's just what he's doing. Like, and I like go back, and I was like, dude, there's a buck right there. Buck right. And he, of course, like a good buddy will make that joke.
Right.
That's what he does. And he goes, are you serious? Like, yes.
Yeah, so I definitely knew you were serious after that, and I didn't
look in my eye that gave it away.
I did not finish. I stopped.
Cut it off.
I snuck back in, and now he had left, and I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Blew the hunt, and of course you're so positive all the time, no matter what. You're like, no, he's gonna come back. He'll come back. I'm like, no, he's not.
He's gone.
He's gone. And I don't know, 5 minutes later.
5 minutes later.
Tops, he comes back.
Came back.
And now I'm all nervous,
So now you were nervous at first because of the situation that you were in.
Yep.
The predicament.
Yep.
Literally getting caught with your pants down. And so, like, literally, that's why the buck absolutely just just caught you.
Yeah.
But we have to say that you're shooting my gun now.
Right. Yeah.
And it's got a silencer central, Banish 30 suppressor on it.
Yeah.
Which I will, that's what I'm going to use. Like, from now on, it's a suppressor on every single hunting gun. And this is a reason why. All right, proceed.
Well, the buck came back broadside, but your feeder was right behind the buck.
Right behind.
So, crosshairs are on his shoulder, and all I hear is don't shoot my feeder, don't shoot my feeder. So
because bullets have to go, they go through stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So
as I've learned.
He did take a step. I think he was walking away at this point, and I fired around, and just it was a miss, and we both knew it. You said miss, and I said I already know, and
he's already jacking one back in the chamber.
Another round, and now I'm like, I can't believe this again, So now it's like I ruined it again,
Again.
I'm never getting invited back to this place, but no, he came back, and
which that's crazy.
So I don't know, this deer just.
He was determined.
He wanted some corn, I guess.
I guess.
But
you didn't know it, but I actually put crack in there.
Okay.
Just so like I get them good and addicted.
That sounds about right. Yeah. So, but no, he came back and put a good shot on him.
You put a perfect shot on him.
Yeah.
And you knew that one. Like you called your shot on that one, which I think the first shot is just nerves. You're shooting next to someone, and I've got a newsletter actually that just came out on like egos, and egos in hunting and shooting and everyday life. We battle with that every day.
Absolutely.
Being in jiu-jitsu and everything, like your ego plays a giant role in your success.
Right.
If you're able to leave that at the door, you're going to be more successful because you're going to open yourself up to learning and new experiences. But you called your shot on the second one, which I thought was really cool because you saw it go down in the scope. Like It was like everything in the world slowed down for you.
Yeah. 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 So it felt good. And I mean, after you've been hunting for some time, and you put a good shot on him.
Yeah.
So, felt good and knew he was down. So, we didn't really give him much time to go recover, so
we didn't need to.
Yeah.
But, that's when chaos ensued.
Now, I didn't know we were going to get into that part, but
oh no, I tell look, I am the world's worst at being anxious and being ready to go and rushing some stuff that I should slow down and think about. And dude, I'm not immune to failure, and so we step out of the blind, and you go, I don't know, man. He goes, hey, well, hold on a second. And you're like, I was like, oh yeah, there's a deer. That's a doe, like out in the field next to it. So this is probably a deer that is coming off a neighboring property, and making its way, just following the doe. So he had a couple does with him.
Yep.
But all I saw was the doe, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, it's just a doe.
Right.
Leave it.
Yeah.
Well, we take, we jaunt a little bit closer to Jacob's deer, and Jacob like whispers like, dude, that's a buck. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we put glass on it, and we start looking at it, and we go, huh, okay, let's sneak over there because I've got a tag.
Yeah.
And so we start inching closer, and we start, we almost get down to like a low crawl almost, and then we're starting to, get up to it. And I'm trying to make it to the fence without them seeing us because he had like 3 does with him or something like that.
They got 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah. And man, I get set up because I've got the tripod, tripod with the pig saddle in it. And this gun's dialed.
Yeah.
And I shoot this gun a lot. Like this is a gun that I'm intimate with. Like this gun, I know. And so I put the rangefinder on him, and it's like 250, something like that.
I think it was further than that.
Well, see, I was reading 250, I think. And this is what I think happened.
I gotcha.
I think what happened was I read 250, I held 250, I shot, missed. And that was frustrating because I was like, I know that like 250, like that's what my rangefinder said. But I think what happened was that rangefinder hit grass before that.
Yeah.
So I think every shot was going low.
Yep.
So I shoot again. And that one, was it the second one that hit him?
Second one hit him. Hit him low shoulder, low.
Right. Which
you
know,
well,
a little
more leg, you know. But
which you would think would break down.
Yep. Yep.
And then the next shot I missed. And then now I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Because this deer's hit and he's moving, but not a lot. Like, so I'm not shooting at a moving deer because I'll let him get stopped. Now I don't think to use my rangefinder. Okay, stop. Just stop. like, let's let him bed down. But he's in open plain. Like, he is out in the middle of nowhere. There's trucks driving by that kind of bump him.
Yeah.
And then another shot. And then, I don't know. And then I think on the 5th shot, I hit him again.
Yep.
So I've hit this deer twice. And this is, I want to be as ethical as possible, and I should have ranged him better. Like, I should have followed up with range. And this is a horrible story. Great for Jacob, horrible for me, because now I'm a nervous wreck. Because I've hit the deer twice. The first shot, not good. Second shot, I was like, that hit him. I thought that hit him good.
Yeah.
Like, and it didn't. I think I stopped at 8 shots, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not shooting anymore. Like,
right.
I'm not. So now he jumps a 6-wire fence, and I'm like, okay, I know where he's going.
Yeah.
He goes on to the Air Force Base property.
Yeah.
And he's there. We run to the truck. We sprint to the truck, get in the truck. We haven't put hands on your deer yet. Still haven't.
No, haven't dealt with him. But yeah.
Oh. And it's so frustrating because we get to the truck, go, and I jump out of the truck. He is 100 yards from the road. I have him in my crosshairs, and I don't pull a trigger. And no one would have known. If I would have pulled that trigger, there would have been, like, no one would have known.
Yeah, like, no, you.
And that was.
I'm sitting there telling you to pull the trigger
shoot,
because obviously the deer's not on your property anymore. It's on, the government property.
Right.
And we just I
watched him disappear.
So watch him disappear, but before that, there's a number on their fence.
Yeah.
That you called.
And I found the guy.
And you said, "Hey, my name is so and so, and I'm at this property, and I'm here located. I have a wounded deer. I need to speak to someone to get permission to go on your property." And the lady goes, "Yeah, hold on one second." And then what? Lieutenant commander or whatever it is. Answers, and you said, "Hey, sir, this is where we're at. This is the deal. Do you mind?" He goes, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I was like,
Now the deer had supposedly, according to what your buddies,
so
that were kind of watching, snuck around us.
Yeah, so what happened was my buddy, I was like, hey, go on the next mile over because you see the whole field.
Right.
It's section lines. You can see the whole thing over there, and because he's on a hill, and I was like, do you have eyes on the deer? Yes, I do. I have eyes on the deer. Okay. So I hang up the phone, put the phone in my pocket, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk straight to him. So hopefully I can jump him and get a shot off, or hopefully he's dead right there, because this all took a span of like 15, 20 minutes to get a hold of the right people.
Right.
Well, frustrating. Still, like this hunt is one of those that haunts me, and I remember every step. We get about 20 yards out, maybe more than that, probably 30 yards. Out into the field. And this is
tall grass.
Tall grass.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to Jacob and I, that deer had used a drainage to sneak out basically the side, jumped the other 6-wire fence, and then jumped another one and went on our lease all the way behind us.
Yeah.
All the way behind us.
Yeah.
We had no clue where he went.
Yeah.
And the phone's blowing up, and I sit there and answer. I go, yeah. He goes, he just slipped out the back, which is what those wise old bucks do.
And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
You wouldn't have thought.
Yeah.
Like, in a million years, but that's what they do, man. Yeah. Their goals are survival, breeding, and eating. Like, that's it. That's all they got to do. So we back out, and you had to leave, right?
Yeah. Well, I was planning to leave after that morning hunt, and we went back and dealt with my buck, got him cleaned up.
So what was that like? I mean, going from, because you had a wide range of emotions. I mean,
well, that within 20 minutes of my buck story, and then finally getting the kill, and then literally looking over and going back though. Like, look, I've seen some at that time. I had not seen 150-inch buck before,
right?
Ever, and he was probably pushing that. If
I
not,
almost let him walk.
If not more, but and I was like, KJ, there's a buck over there. He's like, and you looked at him, I'm like, what?
He was about to just strangle me.
I'm like, what do you mean? So I sat there and just glassed him I was like, that is a mature deer.
And you were right. I made the right decision to finally pursue it.
But yeah, us, the experience was just different because, we put eyes on him, and all he cared about was his does, and we knew that, and we got closer and closer, and I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
that kind of hunting is
he's addicted to it now.
Yeah,
he
so
will
like
not
going
sit
back,
in the stand.
yeah, it's changed a lot for me, but no, yeah. So you were gonna pass on that deer until I said, no, you're not.
Like, look at him again.
Right,
and that's what he says, and that's what a good hunting partner will do. Is like, hey, dude, you're gonna miss a good opportunity here. And aside from the misses, I would not take anything back. But yeah.
No, but we went, we did, we handled my buck, and then I didn't leave. I was like, I'm gonna stay, and we hunted that year buck that
we
evening.
Hunted that buck. I mean, that's all we did was the rest of that entire week, because I was there
the rest of the week.
The rest of the week, and that's all I did was look for that buck. Hunting in different places. I was calling neighbors. And we owe it to that deer. I mean, when you go out, you owe it to a deer to recover it.
Yep.
First, you owe it to a deer to make a good shot, and that was on me. But that happens. Like, if you hunt long enough, like, unfortunately, something like that will happen.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that on anybody. But I will say, walking up to your deer was a great sense of relief. Because I knew we had one down. Like, I knew we had that one in the pocket, and
that was a good dear, man. I mean,
really good.
It's a bigger body whitetail than I was used to. The past 7 or 8 years that I hunted Mississippi. But yeah, I was happy about it. And thankfully I got the invite to go back this past season. But
well, I am going to hold you over. We're going to make this a 2-part series because I do want to get in. I think next week, we get into caliber choices, and I think we talk about, this last year's deer hunt and going forward and how to manage properties, because all leases are different, and there's just different nuances that you got to be ready for, and you got to be able to adjust and adapt. And plus, you got to hunt a velvet season in Mississippi, or at least they passed it.
Yeah, so I did not hunt it that weekend, but some guys did. But yeah, they opened up a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, and
which is new for Mississippi.
Right, and Oklahoma is very close to, and I didn't tell you this.
They're doing that.
They're very close to opening up a 9-day season.
Wow!
So that'll be big, more hunting dates. But we'll pick this up next week. Make sure you join in. We're talking to Jacob Stolzle, all about hunting and his exploits as a firefighter, crossfitter, jiu-jitsu practitioner, all that stuff right here on Gun Talk Hunt. As always, Gun Talk Hunters, keep those muzzles pointing in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.
To see all of Gun Talk's content, go to guntalk.com, guntalktv.com, or sign up for the Gun Talk newsletter.